Everyone, the name is Erik, and I've said one core thing, and that is that personality type is flow. Personality type is directly connected to your energy, your motivation, your control, and how proactive and outgoing you are. And that means one thing: our personality reflects what we express outwards to other people. It reflects how we go out and make our life happen. It reflects what we are interested in, what we find interesting, what gives us energy, and it reflects what we find important, meaningful, and significant. What we want to be in a certain way, or according to a certain frame of ethics, or according to one kind of belief, or according to our conscience. And finally, our personality type requires us to have control over our actions. We need to actively try to make our decisions happen. We need to actively exercise our will and to speak out for what we believe or what we think. And this allows me to do one thing. This awareness of personality type allows me to do one thing that other personality profilers can't do. And that is show you how your personality type is impacted when you are not in a state of flow. To understand this, I've taken forward a new metaphor. I call it the keyboard metaphor. And using this, you don't need the typical 4-function model anymore. This is a better and more on-point model of how the human mind works and what happens depending on what flow or what functions you pull on. So first, you want to know that you have 4 high notes and 4 low notes. And the 4 high notes represent your personality type code, your first 4 letters in your personality type code. Your 4 low notes represent your 4 reverse letters in your personality type. So the opposite letters of your personality type. For the INTP, the ESFJ. So introversion here serves as a high note. It gives the INTP stability. It gives them a sense of what they are thinking of. It makes them more aware of their thoughts and what's going on inside. And it makes them more mindful of themselves and the inner world. Then this mindfulness leads to an increase in outgoingness. It makes the INTP want to share and talk with other people. The more aware you become of your own thoughts as an introvert, the more outgoing you become, because you want to spread your thoughts, you want to spread your ideas, and you want to shape the world according to what it is you see in your mental mind map. Intuition serves to give you energy. Intuition is a reflection of what puts you in an energized state, what gives you stimulation, what makes you find the world to be fun and interesting. It's also what makes you remember the world around you. So intuition here serves as a high note, where sensing serves as a low note. Sensing takes away from and makes you less interested in your surroundings, more overwhelmed and more inattentive. Thinking serves as what gives you a sense of conscience as an INTP, your sense of right and wrong. If you use thinking, the more you use thinking, the more conscientious you become, the more you care about your actions and how you act, and the more you want to act in a certain way and according to a certain standard. Feeling serves to take away from this ethical compass and actually makes INTPs less ethical, less conscientious, and less mindful of their actions and what they do. Perceiving finally gives an INTP control over their life and over their actions. It makes you care about how you do something and according to what principles. And it allows you to, when things are happening around you, it allows you to adjust to what's happening around you. And it allows you to budge and bend and adapt so that you can deal with the situation better. Judging takes away from this personal control and lowers your willpower and lowers your control over what you're doing and what's happening around you. So when you play on the 4 low notes, you are typically in a state of a crisis, or you're in a state that is more negatively inclined. You're reserved, you're narrow-minded, you're less conscientious, and you have low control over your surroundings and what's happening around you. You stopped caring about the world around you. You've stopped caring about going out there. You become more inhibited. You become more drained, and you become more withdrawn. It's associated with a state of depression, or what puts you in a depressive state. It's also associated with giving up or surrendering, or for a brief moment just stopping to care and stopping to feel anything about the situation. The citizen is asserted with the opposite. It's associated with asserting yourself, standing up for yourself, protecting yourself from being hurt or from a bad experience, while letting go of self-awareness and letting go of your ethics and what you believe is right. It's associated with giving up on your dream or stopping to care about your dream, but still focusing to survive and to be engaged with society and to still push yourself to your limits and to be an influential and important person. And what this keyboard metaphor allows you to do is to understand every single Enneagram type. And here you want to look at the pluses and the minuses. The pluses in each Enneagram type indicates whether the first, second, third or fourth letter is on a high note or on a low note. A plus means a high note, a minus means a low note. The plus for the case of the INTP1 is placed on the fourth letter, and the three first letters are in minuses. That means that the first three letters are on minus and the fourth letter is on plus. That means that the perceiving is the strongest part of this INTP. This is an INTP that only cares about strong execution, control, willfulness, and making and asserting yourself and what you think is right. It means standing up for and expressing what is right, no matter who you hurt, no matter what you say, no matter what's tactical, no matter what's smart, no matter what your intuition tells you, no matter what your thinking tells you, no matter what your introversion would tell you if you were to be more balanced and take a step back from the situation. So the INTP1 only cares about asserting a strong inner standard or a principle, making sure that they do the right thing, and in so becoming more inhibited because they become more afraid of making mistakes, becoming more unaware because they fear that their intuition will lead them to make too many changes or will throw them off course, and shutting off their thinking because their thinking will remind them that there is no such thing as perfect. There is only better and better and better and better. And all of this, the INTP1 becomes perfectionistic because of using these functions of thinking in these ways. An INTP becomes perfectionistic when in an overwhelming situation and when in a situation where people only care about what's appropriate, how to dress, how to talk, how to be around other people. INTPs only fall into the habit of perfectionism when in these situations. And if you want to reduce your perfectionism, you want to remove yourself from these situations. Enneagram has one of these keyboard combinations. The Enneagram 2 type has the first, the third, and the fourth letter on a high note and the second letter on a low note. The third type, the Enneagram 3, has the first letter on a high note and the third letter on a high note and the second and the fourth letter on a low note. The Enneagram 4 type has the first, second, and fourth letters on low notes and the third letter on a high note. The Enneagram 5 type has the first, third, and fourth letters on low notes and the second letter on a high note. The Enneagram 6 type has the second and the fourth letter on a high note and the first and the third letter on a low note. The Enneagram 7 type has the first, the second, and the fourth letter on a high note and the third letter on a low note. The Enneagram 8 has the second, third, and fourth letter on high notes and the first letter on a low note. Finally, the Enneagram 9 type has the third letter and the fourth letter on high notes and the first and the second letters on low notes. And I've also found other combinations that are of equal interest, and I explore them all on my website erikthor.com, so check that out and explore this and see how this works for your type and how it fits you. It's not meant to be when you're in the ESFJ notes, you're like an ESFJ. On the contrary, because of the drop in energy, because of the drop in outgoingness and the tendency to becoming reserved, you often resemble a completely different type, or you look very different from an ESFJ. So it's more about noticing how these functions come off, and in noticing what comes off in high definition and what comes off in lower and less sharp contrast in yourself. Doing all of this, you can basically work with 16 times 16 personality types. 16 personality types reflecting your flow, and 16 reflecting different combinations. Always use the rule of 4, which means always select 4 notes. You always have to use all of these. There is no such thing as not using or not playing one of these notes. You always have one mode in. And that means when you're not doing anything at all, when you're completely turned off, you're playing on the 4 low notes. And when you're completely on, perhaps too much on, you play on the 4 of the high notes. So knowing all of this, go explore, go find out how that fits you, and feel free to share in the description below if you're wondering about anything, or if you have any questions, or if there's anything you realize using this model. So thank you, and see you guys in the next video.